So I have something to admit to you guys, and this may genuinely shock you, but as I'm on my way to dinner tonight, I thought I'd get it off my chest. Now, I see people at all stages of their journey. I see people right as they're beginners. I see people as they're riding the initial waves of success. And I have friends who are multi-billionaires. But yet, I keep seeing the pattern again and again, all the way from completely broke to multi-billionaire titan status. And my admission is that I have the same pattern in my life. I'm no different. And that pattern is that we all, and I mean all of us, feel like we don't know what we're doing. We all feel like we're swimming in the deep end. You know, I tweeted something a little while back and it really resonated with people, which is when I was making $0 a month, I felt like I have no idea what I'm doing. Then I started making $1,000 a month, and honestly, I felt like I had no idea what I was doing. Started making 10 grand a month, still felt like I had no idea what I was doing. All the way to $100,000 a month, all the way to $1 million a month, and onwards from there. The point is, it doesn't change. You think it will, but it doesn't. As I said, people have this misconception that you get to a point in life where you have it all figured out, and I think that's honestly half the anxiety. That's honestly half the stress, feeling like you are alone. But the God's honest truth is that we are all alone in this together. We are all feeling the same emotions, and it's so wild for me to observe in my life people who have accomplished so much, and yet they feel like they know so little. They are still always doubtful of their abilities. And it was something that I kind of toyed with for a while. I'm like, is this what like imposter syndrome feels like? Is this like, where is this coming from, and will this ever go? And then one day I realized it's a blessing. And one day I realized that the day that I stop feeling like this is the day that I'm dwindling, is the day that it's over for me. You see, I have never observed someone who has continued to accomplish success in life and they don't have these feelings. The only time I've ever observed someone kick their feet up and go, you know what, like I feel like I have this handled. I feel like I have a grip on things. The only time that I've ever observed that is someone who is about to become complacent. Is someone who thinks that, okay, you know what? I know what my limits are. I've pushed my limits and I'm happy where I am right now. And it's been my observation in life that there's no such thing as coasting. There's no such thing as like staying in the same place. You're either growing or you're dwindling. There is no in between. There's no such thing as like, oh, you know, I get to a certain point and I just kick my feet up and that's it. Life is going to demand growth of you. As they say, new levels, new devils. And the reason I bring all this stuff up is because it just parlays and it comes back to my main point, which is that feeling of, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I don't have this figured out. That is the number one telltale sign that you're doing something right in life. That doubt is the number one telltale sign that you are actually pushing yourself. And I don't know what I'm going to title this video. I think it may be something along the lines of, you're scared, but it's okay because I am too. And that's really what I wanted to get across here in this beginning portion of the video, is that I just think sometimes us as humans, feelings can become so overwhelming when we feel like it's unique to us. But when there's a common energy, it kind of puts us at rest, because we're like, you know what, everyone else is going through it. Like, I'll give you an example, feeling tired. Like, everyone just feels tired some days. Like, you don't think just because you feel tired that there's something fundamentally wrong with you, or that you're not on the right path. You're just like, no, I just feel tired today. Like, that's just a part of human existence. But yet, when we have these feelings of, you know, I don't know if I can do this. Like, when we have those feelings of doubts, I feel like sometimes there's like so much shame associated to it, and there's so much like, oh, this is a me thing. It's not a you thing. Every single person I know who has accomplished anything worth mentioning has gone through that, and anyone who is still on a trajectory to continue to accomplish things worth mentioning still goes through that to this day, including myself. I got this tattoo that says, wherever you go, there you are. And it confuses people a lot of times, I will admit. But I got this tattoo around this time that I made my first $1 million, because, you know, I was expecting to make $1 million and then all of a sudden be like, wow, I'm like, I got this on lock. Like, I know what I'm doing here, and that I didn't. And wherever you go, there you are, was a reminder to myself, like, listen, your externals will change. And I knew that everything that came into fruition in my life, I saw it so many years in advance. And, it's funny, sometimes people ask me like, oh, are you surprised that any of this happened? Like, could you have ever imagined it? The truth is, like, yeah, of course I imagined it. That's why it happened. Like, how do you not understand? I had to imagine it. I had to see it first, and then only could it manifest. Then only could it materialize in real life. So I knew that all of this success in life, I knew that was going to come. But I think one of the difficult things for me was realizing that your internal state will not change. I wish there was a transcript. You can make a transcript of the billionaire's mind in a day and the beginner's mind in the day, just trying to make their first few dollars online. And you will see that there's actually a lot more resemblance than people think. Of course, yes, the billionaire, they have better mental models, they have better mental frameworks, they have a clearer worldview, and I bet they have much, much more positive thinking. But I also guarantee they have feelings of doubt, they have feelings of insecurity, they have feelings of restlessness that they're not doing enough. And it was only when I really looked around in my life, as I mentioned, where I was like, that's good. That actually means that you're on the right track. That means you're on the right path. And that shouldn't be something where you want that feeling to go away. I think for a couple of years, as I was really starting to come into my stride and really starting to become very successful, I was like, well, why are these feelings still here? Like, no, I should, like, I did all this. Like, no, why are these feelings here? Why are these emotions here? And it was only when I learned to turn those emotions and those feelings into my gauge and my barometer that, like, oh, I'm proud of you. You're still pushing. You're still uncomfortable. And it was only when I learned to become comfortable in that uncomfort that, like, my life took off. And I think that's one of the reasons why there's so many people who get success in life. Like, listen, if you get success in life, bless you, congratulations. It could be a fluke. But when you keep growing year on year on year, and I'm not just talking about financially, by the way, I just mean as a human, as a person. Like, to me, that's something special. But that brings us on to the next part of this video, which is, I told you to feel all those emotions and turn those into your superpower. But on the other hand, I also pray that you woke up today and someone was proud of you. And most importantly, I hope that person was you. I pray that you woke up and you gave yourself the flowers you deserve. Because I think sometimes it's this like dichotomy of, you need to have a healthy balance of pushing and wanting more in life and understanding that you have more to accomplish and feeling comfortable in that uncomfort, but then also realizing how far you've come. And how far you've come, I don't mean that you're, in 3 months you went from living at home with your parents to now you're a multimillionaire. I mean, like, hey, 3 months ago, you couldn't even sit still for 5 minutes and do 5 minutes. And now look at you. Giving yourself your flowers in the sense that you couldn't sit and watch like an unedited, off the dome video like this. You couldn't do that 90 days ago. It wasn't mentally stimulating and engaging enough for you. So even that is a win. So really, I implore you every single morning, and this is something I stopped doing for a while and something I had to reintroduce in the last 6 months and last 12 months, because also that's the other thing. All of your externals can elevate, but that doesn't mean that necessarily your internal state is where it needs to be. And I even found myself in the last like half a year, 12 months, letting my mindset slip. The reason I got to where I am in life is by having a bulletproof mindset. And I think I've built the infrastructure and the systems around me where, like, it didn't need to be as iron as it used to be. And now that's something that I'm reintroducing back in my life, where I'm actually starting to acknowledge my wins again and remember who the I am. The fact that I built this with my own two hands, everything around me, my reality. And I really think you need to take time to acknowledge those wins, because sometimes it's just so easy to, like, even in one day, like, it's so funny. I had this yesterday where at 4 p.m. there's a call regarding one of my companies, one of my physical product brands. And at that company, things are going well, but not as well as I would have hoped to. And there's just a lot of complications and a lot of difficulties that come with that company. You know, let's just be super transparent here. That company is big day. So obviously I have a few different physical product brands, some that I started myself, a bunch that I've invested in, you know, everything from an electrolyte brand all the way to eyewear. As you guys know, usually I just build products that I would want. Anyways, so I'm on this call at 4 o'clock with the entire team at Big Day. There's just so many complications with import, even down to small things like, you know, we're expanding into the Middle East now, and there's like caffeine taxes, like all these things you don't foresee. Having 100% tax and 100% markup when you import caffeine into the Middle East, like there's just, you know, the logistical nightmare of shipping these heavy beverages, which is why usually it's not a good idea to do so. And then also not wanting to take distribution because that's just not the route that we want to go for now, even though it's extremely lucrative. So anyways, things aren't necessarily going bad there. It's just, we're rejigging a couple things, and we're rejigging the product SKU and making products that are a little bit more practical, because as I said, the issue is sometimes I make products for me. So I make these products that honestly I just use myself, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the most practical for the market. So we have this call at 4 o'clock, and to be honest, I just feel like a little deflated after the call. And all those things come in your mind of like, I don't know where this will go. I don't know if this is gonna succeed. I don't know if blah, blah. And you start having these doubts in your mind, which, as I said, is actually a good thing. And it's so funny, at like 4 o'clock, I felt like that. And then at 10 o'clock, I have a call with this company that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars I'm investing in and becoming I guess I can't announce too much right now. And we're basically just finalizing the deal and going over the SAFE agreement, and SAFE means simple agreement for future equities. So we're basically going through all these term sheets and all this stuff. And this deal and this investment for me is massive. It's a massive play. And I come off the call and I feel like a king, and I'm like, I got this shit again. And it's just so crazy how in like 6 hours, things can swing. And obviously that's me managing multiple different businesses and investments and ventures, but like still the thought is the same, which is you're gonna ride these highs and lows. But I just think in the lows, it's so important for you to have a list of all the things that you've done so far. And that list doesn't need to be you making a massive investment in a multi-9-figure company. That list could just be, I got out of bed today. I didn't snooze. I read 5 pages of a book. It could be as small as, I didn't text my ex today. Whereas 3 months ago, maybe that wouldn't have been the case. And to be honest, this is one of the reasons I love journaling so much, because it's so beautiful just to have a catalog of every single, like where your headspace is at, and to be able to look back and just see how far you've come. So I think that's what I want to end off today's video with, which is, you're scared, and the truth is, so am I. And the truth is, so are my billionaire friends. We all are. We're all in this. We all feel alone, but we all feel alone in this together. So just understand that, make peace with it, give yourself the flowers you deserve. Be your #1 fan, be your #1 supporter, but also understand that I'm here, and as always, I'm watching from afar, and I'm rooting for you.